All right, everybody. This has been a project that's been in the making for about 3 months or so. Um, I've been really wanting to have a small river creek boat, something that can go into some of these dehydrated rivers here that we have in California. We are completely unable to use regular sized boats in most of these inland waters anymore. So, yeah, we just wanted something small, something portable, something I can carry in the back of my truck. This here is a 1232 tracker topper. I was a little leery about going with a 32-inch bottom, but it seemed to work out okay so far as long as you don't overload it. I guess just to kind of make sense of things, we'll start here at the front first. So up here on the bow, I've just got a 55-pound Minn Kota trolling motor that's been turned around and reversed on the handle, so I'm able to mount it here on the front. I just did some custom Simpson construction ties here. One 2x4 on either side of this here, and another customized bracket down here on the bottom just to tie those in. That gives it some pretty good stability as you're going down the river, and it doesn't bounce or anything like that. This little trolling motor here will push this boat pretty good. I'd say probably 5 to 8 miles an hour if you're in calm water. So either side here I have a couple yellow LED spotlights, one on either side. A little wire here that ran through some 3/4 inch tubing protectors and riveted to the side of the boat. They run all the way down here to the second seat, where I'll get into that in a second. That actually ties into the bilge pump for all the wiring. I built this in keeping in mind that I wanted to stand up and see where I was going. In shallow water, you don't really want to be hitting trees or nothing, so I had to kind of come up with a little bit of a solution here for a grab bar. And all this is the backing of a lawn chair. Yep, that's it. Nothing special, nothing fancy. The only thing that was custom here were these little brackets right here. It's a 7/8 inch tube, 3/4 on the inside, so that just slipped right into there. I just welded together a 90 to tie that in there, and then for extra support, we ran these 45 degrees on that straight flat bar there. I believe that's 3/4 inch flat bar, and that does not go anywhere. Once this motor turns around, I'm not going to do it because my boots are stuck in the mud, but I got a custom bracket right here so that when this long tail spins around like so, it actually latches into that right there, and I'm able to keep the motor nice and straight while I'm trailering. I don't have to take it off of the boat unless I unload it, which I have to because it's actually pretty heavy. Moving on down here in the back, this here has been somewhat of a labor of love here. Like most people that buy some of these Thailand mud motor kits, you either love them or you hate them. It takes a little bit of work to get them where you want them. A bit of work in the sense that you really wanted to remove the governor, because that 3,600 RPM governed speed limit on this thing is just a dog. It will not push you very fast at all, probably 5 to 8 miles an hour, which is not good for a little 6.5 horsepower motor. So with the governor removed, you have to replace the connecting rod with a billet aluminum connecting rod, a billet aluminum flywheel that's inside here, so it doesn't break apart and shatter like a grenade inside there. Ungoverned, this thing runs about 5,200 RPMs or so, and the valves start to float, which isn't very good. So I try to keep it around the 48 to 5,000 RPM mark, and that pushes me about 12 to 15 miles an hour. It's almost doubled my speed limit. Keeping on with the modifications here, stock carburetor, but I've run a high performance, high flow K&N style air filter. That's just a cover, but you can see underneath there it's just a K&N style. All of this I got from Go Power Sports. They aren't endorsing me for any of this. That's just where I go. OMB Warehouse is another good company to go through. Go Power Sports seems to have the widest selection. Again, I'm not sponsored or nothing. That's just who I prefer. If I was doing it all over again, that's where I'd go. RPM gauge bought off of Amazon. It's like $10. It's just meant for riding lawnmowers and stuff. Right now, you can see it's got a 1.7. That just means that I've ran it 1.7 hours since I've hooked it up. And when the motor's on, it'll actually read RPMs quite well. It's really simple. It just ties into your spark plug wire. You just wrap it around and it detects your RPMs there. The crankcase vent right here, this is from AutoZone. It's actually meant for a PCV valve cover on order style cars. I tried running a little cotton filter on there. The crankcase pressure was so much without the governor that the actual, let's see if there's still some residual oil back there. My boot unstuck. This crankcase cover back here, you see that brand new shiny gasket. All the pressure in there actually blew that off. It rattled the bolts loose and popped this crankcase cover off about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, and just shot oil everywhere. It was a total nightmare. On top of all that, I removed the low oil sensor that's in this thing. When you're running this motor, and you're, it's kind of at an angle here, the oil sloshes around in there, especially with those extra RPMs that you're pushing. So, you don't want that sensor to go shutting off on you when you're running full speed. Sorry for the shaky camera here, folks. I'm sinking. So anyway, this is where the original oil sensor wire went into. I just removed this when I did the governor, unbolted it from the bottom and just capped it off with a, I think it's a 3/8 inch bolt. I made my own gasket out of a cereal box and it's worked out pretty well. This is the ignition coil wiring that comes around the motor and actually ties into your flywheel there. The mud motor kit itself is from Mud Skipper. Again, it's an overseas Thailand design, where most longtails came from, but I got the 2-piece just because it was cheaper on shipping. You go the 1-piece, it's like an extra, I don't know, $50 to $70, I think. It was about $350 or so for the assembly. It comes with both sections, the inner drive shaft, all the bearings, and a couple different size props. For this motor here, I found that the 6.5 inch prop works the best. The 7 is just too much. It wants to lift up out of the water at higher RPMs, so that's a no-go. The exhaust on here, the stock exhaust that comes on these Predator motors is very restrictive, and especially with these higher RPMs, that sucker will glow red. So you're going to want to put something pretty free-flowing. I just welded this one up in my garage here. I just cut the existing flange off of the old one, ground it down, put in a piece of 3/4 inch pipe with a little bit of a bend on there, tied it into a 1.5 inch pipe. It's really hot. I don't want to touch it, but if you can see, yeah, kind of, see there's that inner fitting inside there. I also took another 3/4 inch backboard it through there, drilled some holes in it, and capped it off on the end, so that acts as somewhat of a muffler. And this here is just a, thing for tractors. It keeps the rain from getting in there and stuff like that when I store it outside. That's pretty much it, folks, for the motor. These pods here I had welded up. Get this thing to focus. I'm not a TIG welder by any means, but I had a good friend of mine do this for me. This is just aluminum diamond plate welded up into pods. Again, this 1232 probably isn't the ideal size for this application on bigger waters. I had those pods made just to give me a little bit of added peace of mind with me and my dog on this boat. Each of these, calculated to the inner cubic feet, gives me about 68 extra pounds of buoyancy per pod. So you're looking at about another 120 pounds of buoyancy, give or take a few added into the back of this where most of the weight's going to be, and I don't have a problem at all. When I'm actually running this thing, you can see there's the bottom of the boat, and it's floating right now. So this thing doesn't sit in very much water at all, but even on a plane with my fat ass in there, it still does pretty good. This is kind of simple little thing here that's helped out tremendously. Just ran a bilge pump, cheap little Walmart deal. Wiring again ties in here, comes around the front, around the side towards the front, and it ties into the middle here, where I've got my connectors there, and then my battery that also powers the Minn Kota 55. So again, there, folks, that's about it. Like I said, there's been a labor of love for me. I've hit the river with this thing a few times, and it's just died on me, and had to come back and fix it and take it out, and it died on me, and I finally got it where I want it to be. If you guys want to do this project, I would recommend it. You know, if you got little creeks or something, they do make bigger longtail kits. Again, this is just for the 6.5 212cc Predator motor from Harbor Freight, but you can pick yourself up larger motors at Harbor Freight, Hondas, Tolotsons, stuff like that, and you'll get pretty much the exact same result out of this, just with a higher price tag. You know, I mean, this Predator here was on sale for 80 bucks, you know, so even with those extra parts, if this thing blows up, it's not that big of a deal. A good Honda GX motor or something is going to set you back about $300 to $400, so, you know, you guys do the math on that one. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Good luck.